Hello, welcome to today's live. We're going to be talking with Samantha, the founder of Otium Retreats. Living well is made with including rituals, right? I'm a ritual designer and we can call it a routine, and whatever we do every day helps us to feel better, helps us to accomplish our goals, helps us to realize our dreams and just to feel also simply sometimes balanced and at ease. So stepping away is one of the most essential things that we can do as a mother, as an entrepreneur, as a person, just stepping away from our usual routine habit, even if it's a ritual that works for you, is super essential. It took me 6 years to step away from my kids for the first time. I think it was an overnight stay. Not enough. It took me another 4 or 5 or 6 years, I can't remember, to actually step away completely from partner, kids, country, from Japan all the way to the States. I went to join in health group event with Gwyneth Paltrow and in New York and then in LA, and it became a thing. I met new people, it gave me the energy. I met people who I could resonate with, and not as being the mom or being the wife of or the partner of, or just being myself, super essential. It really was a Kickstarter to changing my life and to becoming more aware or conscious of what I do every day and how I can improve it. So going away is super essential, as essential as having your everyday rituals that are supporting you. When I saw Otium come up, I'm going to have her join here, I knew it was a calling. Time, perfect everything. It's just synchronicity. I've been wanting to go to a place. Hello. So I'm just saying, when you popped up, it was like, oh, this is amazing, and here you are. I joined Otium. It was your very first retreat. Hi, Sam.
Hi, how are you? So happy to be here with you.
So happy that you could make it. Yeah, and I was just saying, it really was synchronicity. So you were there. What you offered is exactly what resonates with me, and it's wellness, it's creativity, arts, and exclusive spaces. You will tell us more about it in a moment. And it also was in a place that I've been wanting to go, and it's just that it was perfect, and really is essential to well-being, stepping away. Because we think that we can't go away, especially moms, or we think, oh, nothing will work without me, and it's like, yeah, you're the pillar, but also that means also that you can actually be the one who can delegate, that you're the manager, right? You're the manager of a micro company, and yeah, managers delegate, right? Great leaders create good leaders.
For sure, you have to create this kind of like trust relationship with your family, for work, in everything in your life, and this is what I believe that everyone should do. And yeah, really take this moment for self-care, and then for introspection, and having this time for yourself. It's very important.
Yeah. So Sam, tell us a bit about you, because I know you, I know where you're from and based, and what you do, but for anyone who doesn't know who you are, and then after what Otium is, can you just...
Yeah, so of course I'm Samantha. I'm the proud founder of Otium, and then I am currently living in Hong Kong for now 5 years, and it's been now 7 years I'm in Asia. So I was really much more, I would say, attuned with all this kind of Oriental type of living, a type of healing practices and whatnot, being at the heart of Asia. But I'm from Paris actually, and I grew up in Paris, so I really have this both of this word. I was working in fashion for more than 12 years as a buyer for different brands, and I really enjoyed it. But at some point, I really wanted to do something with more purposes that would serve people better. More than just buying clothes or buying an item. I really wanted to create this space when people kind of feel taken care of. And I think traveling has always been such a tremendous part, in my life. My father was a diplomat, so we had, the chance to travel a lot. And I feel like while traveling, there's, you open your mind, you open your heart, you really are in the present moment. And this is what we're trying to, duplicate during the retreat. It's really this invitation to travel first as the first step of healing, because you extract yourself from your everyday life, from your family, from your kids, from your work, and it's just this first step, taking the plane. And this is actually where we met the first time, you and I.
Yes.
We were sharing a flight together. It's already, such a beautiful moment, because you're really, with yourself, with your thought, and you can share with someone, that's sitting next to you that you don't know.
And it was incredible. We were actually sitting next to each other, and that was the first time we met in person. Everything was just so smooth. And I did have a moment, even after all these years and all this work done on myself, I had a moment of mama guilt. Like, oh my God, I could have brought my kids. I could have brought. Oh.
Yeah, I remember you told me.
Yeah, it was like, okay, wait a minute, just press pause, feel into it, and let go, and everything will be all right, right? I mean, mine are like,
yeah.
Plus,
but so many people also, like, we had other guests, they were exactly saying the same when we arrived on the hotel spot, and it was just very beautiful and unique. They were like, oh, I should have brought my husband, and even myself, I was like, oh, should have brought him. Actually, he asked me to come to the retreat, but there's always a volume 2 on each retreat we're doing, so there's always kind of like another chance to bring your loved ones.
But it is really good not to have that space for yourself, and I think the fact that many of us had those thoughts, and a little bit guilty, a little bit regret, just insecurity, is just because we're not used to it. And just making it more of a habit and of an unconditional, me time, or my time, or whatever you want to call it, right, is so important. I mean, I booked my retreat with you already for is it?
Yes, for next one.
Yeah, the unconditional time for myself. And I think you step away so. You fill up your tank, you step away so much more aligned and energized than if you would have shared that time with someone else. Because when we're with someone else, we always take care of us. We're like, oh, maybe they should do this, we should do this, and always this maybe in expectations. It's like, hey, what do I want right now? Anyway, listen, Otium. Otium? Yes. What does it mean? Tell me.
Okay, so Otium is actually, from Latin. I'm sure you're aware of the term negotiations, to negotiate, to do business. So Otium is actually when you don't do businesses. It's a time for leisure. And actually, in Greek, it means leisure. It means retreat. So it's kind of like a practice from ancient Greece, where diplomats, businessmen, politicians would actually retrieve themselves from their everyday life, from taking care of the state, and would really partake into more artistic, healthy type of practices, such as painting, writing, poetry, anything that that nourish the soul and then the mind. So they used to do that quite often, and actually, for example, sabbatical year comes from this practice. So at least once every 7 years, they would do this long journey of really just taking care of the soul, of just contemplating, doing nothing, basically, in terms of achieving something in the world, but more just being inward. So this is where Otium is, from the term, and it's a term that has been with me for such a long time. I have to say, I always wanted to do a business, and no matter what, they would have been Otium. But for the retreat, it makes much more sense. So yeah,
it's perfect.
Yeah,
it's so interesting. So it's really reconnecting with the left side of our brain and the creative part, rather than the analytic, which is so overused, right? And
yes,
we do that sometimes. We do that in any kind of piano playing instrument. We need anywhere we use both hands, and obviously yoga, and in yoga we do that too. So it's super interesting. So tell me, you got inspired to create retreats from your experience in fashion, and from the longing to create a space to extract
Yeah,
and to nourish your soul and your creativity, your individualism?
exactly. So I mean, I think people, entrepreneur that start a business, it's always coming from a personal need, right? You always create something, you create a solution for something that you're craving for. And I actually used to go to a lot of retreats. I would say much more the different way, more like in the spa, in like nice hotels, when you have like different healing practices. It's in India and in I don't know, in Thailand. There's so many places in Asia. So I used to do that by myself, and also sometimes join group retreats. So this is something really like once a year I would really take this moment for myself, whether I was single, mom, or no matter what, I would go for one. And then after actually giving birth last year, I would just Google again and then try to find another retreat, and didn't really find one that truly resonates with who I was now, like a little bit more mature, a mom, a different perspective. So I just created it. I was, let's not wait for it and then just try. And I had, this moment during maternity leave, so it was quite perfect for me. So I could really combine my knowledge, that I acquire as a client, and really like more my vision also coming from, the luxury world, and where everything, there's working with trends, doing a lot of research about places, new lifestyle. So yeah, it's a bit of a combination of.
Yeah, and it's those the places you choose also. I think we'll get to them. I mean, how do you choose them and so on? But they are really like super inspiring. You're completely connected with nature, but you're it's not roots. It's stylish. You're comfortable, but you're there's a lot of art. There's a lot of there's just the people who own those places are they're not massive corporations. You actually have conversations and with
Yeah.
them. And yeah. So how do you choose your retreats, your places?
Yeah, it was really important that I move away more from those corporate hotels or luxury hotels that are chains. This is what it's not what I wanted to do with Otium. I really want to support small brands, hotelier, family houses. So like you can feel the extra care they they really provide to the places, and it's really homey. So this is really the first thing I wanted to provide to the guests and the clients that come to retreats, is that you come to a family house that's of course maintained, and there's services and everything, but you don't feel like you're just a transactional stay, and then they will do the same next week. So this is the first feeling, and of course, I really want to support those type of places. And then the second is that I always also want to promote through Otium slow luxury. So it's really like something that's moving away from, again, the 4-5 star hotels luxury, but it's not roots, as you say. It's really like something in between, and I feel like the places I choose are also very artsy. So there's really like a soul already just embedded in the place itself. And for me, it's very important. The environment when you come to retreat is, for me, very crucial. So everyone has their own style, everyone has their own taste. But this is really like, those places I choose are very like, carefully curated. I really take like almost 1 year research. It's really take a long, long time to make sure that, yeah, guest feels at home and well taken care of.
Yeah, and you include art in all
Yeah.
your retreats. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, I mean, art is for me has been always very important in my life. I think art can nourish the soul in a very deep manner. When I discover, I don't know, a new artist, like say a new painter, I feel I don't know, just I have the sentiment of having so much hope, because I'm discovering something like amazing, and that gives me more hopes into life and what life can bring. So that's one feeling I really loved. Or music, for example, when you read an author, you just feel less lonely, because you feel, wow, this person has somehow put into writing or in music my life or from inside, and it's unbelievable. So for me, I wanted to kind of like, because art has been so important in my life, I want to kind of put it back. So that's why we invite an artist in residence that comes to the retreat, and then we host them, and then they kind of in exchange they do what they want. So they want, if they want to lead a workshop a creative workshop, they're more welcome to. If they want to do a live performance, anything they want to do, it's really up to them. So for each retreat, we have someone different.
Yeah.
And I think for me, one of the steps and what I'm trying to do with the retreat is really for the guests to feel inspired, to really leave the retreat with a sentiment of, okay, I'm kind of I have, done my introspection during those 4 or 5 days. And it was, the next chapter in my life. And I feel I really want to drive them into more authenticity, being yourself. Just for me, the way of to happiness and to feel completed is just being you, basically.
Yeah.
And artists, for me, I have such an admiration for them. They are the ones, that represent this. They are the most authentic people. They conduct their life in such, non-compromising way. And I feel just being in their presence or seeing how they work, or because sometimes they tell us their story and how they became artists. I feel it gives like the whole group something a little bit more different. It's something a little bit more elevated of message on how you can pursue your life. So that's why the artist is very, very important. It's completely like one of the pillar of the retreat.
Yeah, living inspired is so important.
Yeah.
That was one thing, the reason I started writing a blog years ago and inspiring people, like talking about and interviewing people like you like this before Instagram. So because especially when things feel hard in life, or you just feel, or you feel overwhelmed, or uninspired, lethargic, having people around you who create their life and trusting their intuition and their creativity and make it happen is super inspiring. Even if you're not an artist, they will inspire you, they will touch your heart, and you will leave with something. My personal experience at your retreat with the artist Anna was incredible. I mean, already she did the performance, the live performance with Viviana, which was, I've never seen anything like that. It was beautiful.
I remember
the original,
and I started to cry.
Yeah, it really touches you. Yeah, and then and she also created these wonderful moments of creative workshop, where you step out of your comfort zone, you do something completely new, and we all think, with an artist who tells you draw a portrait now, and you're like, oh God, like limiting thoughts beliefs coming up, and so I'm just break through it, just do it, and it was really, really great, and I'm excited to see, to see what's happening in the next retreat.
They are integral part of Otium, in a way that each retreat is a team of the yoga teacher usually and the artists are really like we're co-creating all together, and it's very important that we have all those type of forces and heart into this each project.
Yeah, it's really a community. It's a great sense of community. It's not the teacher and the students. It's everybody's just at the same level, and it was very unique with the combination between wellness, lifestyle, and art that you're creating at Otium. Yeah, beautiful. And
Thank
so
you.
Yeah, so you want to walk us through what happens in a day of an Otium retreat, because I've shared it with friends and they're like, yeah, we want to come, and how does it work, and what happens, and it's like, okay, best is you. What happens in one day at Otium?
Yeah, so usually we start the day, I would say, with a movement class, which is usually yoga. It doesn't have to be yoga each time, but I felt like it was the most inclusive, I would say, easy way of introducing, some movement at the beginning of the day. So it's really about, the retreat is also about building habits, right? So just moving a bit with, a guide, and then the rest of the group, it's just very nice. So this starts around 9, and then we would, give a bit of time to just, ease into the day. And then we would, have kind of a brunch breakfast at 11. So usually, I don't reinforce this message too much, but I do believe in intermittent fasting. So we're trying to prolong the longest possible the time of fasting from the day before. So usually at 10:30, 11 we have the brunch, and then the afternoon is dedicated to whether relaxation, like relaxing time, or we can also go to an island exploration. So of course we do want to explore the land where we're doing a retreat. So usually would be maybe in Pentelia, we went to this amazing mud bath in this local lakes. It was very beautiful. Or we have a creative workshop. So it really depends. Each day are never the same. And then we close the day with another class of yoga. So this one will be a little bit more yin, much more into the relaxing, part of the day. And then again, dinner after is around 8. And sometimes, on the evening, we do a little bit of kind of a group kind of session. So last time we had this amazing card, the O cards. It's kind of, welcome everyone to share more about themselves, tapping into the conscious, and many things. Or sometimes, people are just are welcome to stay and then have, more wine and talk, or they can also go to bed, because I know, I think people are craving for sleeping as well. And this is something it's just very hard to do at home. Your mind is rushing, or when you have, a partner moving all the time. So, you can go to bed at 10 and then it's a beautiful day, no matter what. So yeah, this kind of like the day in Otium for each retreat.
And you have the possibility also to do like treatments. There was an energy clinic. What's her name? Yeah, she was incredible. The energy healer and facials and things like that. Yeah. So you can really.
There was some tarot reading. There was some crystal healing as well. I would say each location kind of bring also their some local talent that we're super happy to integrate into the retreat. So
yeah, it felt really good, because you have space in between to read, to journal, or to explore the surroundings on your own. And so it's not like you're on a schedule the whole time, but you are very well taken care of. And I like that there's a kind of an intermittent fasting too, because it's something I don't do often, and it awakens again. It's like new like, oh my God, am I gonna be hungry? It's like this panic thing happening inside. It's like, actually not at all. We don't need 3 meals a day. And it felt great. It was a good cleanse, and I think it's good to do it when you are, stepping away from your usual routine and home and space and work, whatever.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I think it's
super good.
All about having this program. I think people just, nowadays people work so hard. They just want to go into a new generation of traveling that's also a little bit, like without compromising. So you still want to do a bit of your yoga that you do at home, but you don't want to forget about this practice when you're away. So we kind of bring this. You still want to, of course, go and visit local places and villages and whatnot. So it's also in the program. It's not permanent. So it's not, a 360 view of travel and wellness.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So thank you for sharing. And listen, what are the next retreats coming up?
So we have, 2023. We're super excited. We have in April Dance on Fire, which will be in Marrakesh. It's from April 6th to 10th. Beautiful, special place. It's called Villa D, and it's by the Architect Studio Co. They are the one that designed the YSL museum, the renovation. So very particular place. So excited to go there. It's the first in Africa, and then I'm also hosting the first in Asia. So I'm trying to expand a little bit everywhere. So everyone is, has some autumn retreat. The second one is in Sumba, in Indonesia. So again, not many people know where it is, and this is exactly what I want to achieve. It's really to bring people to kind of places in the world where they've never been, they've never heard of, and where I think also the local community need a bit of, I would say tourism and help. It would not, it would good. And so it's very untouched, again, island, white sand, it's amazing. So this is in Sumba, it will be in May, and then we're doing again Pantelleria, because it was great, and then it will be in June for the last one. So Pantelleria is in Italy, and this one would be a 6 days retreat, so a little bit more longer than last time.
Sounds amazing. I want to come to all of them.
Please.
I'm coming to the one in Morocco for sure.
You're my favorite guest, so please go.
Yeah, so thank you so much for your time. I just want one more question. It's the time of manifestations and we use mantras, and one of them, one that comes up for me all the time is calm is a superpower. Like, okay, it's like, okay, everything's okay, press pause and you'll be fine kind of thing. Do you have a mantra that you repeatedly use, or that something is at the moment currently working for you and supporting you?
Yeah, I always, I don't know if it's a mantra, if you call it a mantra, but my sentence is, everything happened for a reason. So it's a little bit, it's about acceptance of everything that, is happening. And it's also about trusting, a greater force. And then, there's the universe, and everything happening in reason. It's really also a message of hope. It's just really like to accept what's happening and to always believe that what's next is actually better, or that from a challenge you will always learn and becoming stronger. So for me, it's really like it's serves me all the time. I think it helps me a lot. So yeah, that's my
for a reason.
And
yeah.
Because yours is
when you let that, I think when you let that happen, things happen. You surrender, right? We do that in yoga. We surrender, and we manage so much, right? Just in our body, in our life, everywhere. Things happen then, because that's we met. Like everything's we call it synchronicities, right?
Yes.
Other words, and it's beautiful. It's powerful. Yeah. Thank you so much, Sam.
Of course.
Thank you for your time, and I can't wait to explore more of the Otium lifestyle with you in this year. And anticipation is a really positive energy. So I invite everybody to have a look at Samantha's website and book yourself your space, your time, because if not now, then when then?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Have a
good day. Big kiss. See you in Morocco, maybe.
Definitely in Morocco. Bye.
Bye.